everyone, welcome welcome back to our Accounting 210. In this video, we will start reviewing for the chapters that will be tested in the exam. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I said for the exam 2 preparation, for each chapter from chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I have more practice in the My Accounting Lab. I'm not going to grade it. My content lab will grade it for you, but it will not be included in your total points. You have an unlimited attempt to try, and then they are available before your second exam starts. Okay, so you go to my accounting lab. The way from my perspective, from my view is, I open my accounting lab and then I go to instructor tool. I go to the assignment manager. You may have a different looking, but general idea is I put chapter 7, 8, 9, and then I'm going to put 10, 11, 12 soon. So I think each one chapter, I remember 7, 8, you have 35 questions. Chapter 9, you have 24 questions. I cannot promise you that you will get A or B if you know everything in this practice, but I would say 50%, 60%, 50, 60% at least in your exam 2. The questions will be similar, especially for the calculation part. Concept part, I cannot just practice here, right? Because it will be the same. So I may have new concept questions, but for the calculation type, I would say 80%, 60% will be from your practice and your My Accounting Lab assignments, problem, and the quiz. Okay, so I will let you know, what I said. 50%, 50, 60% of calculation type will be from practice and your My Accounting Lab assignments. Okay, so now in this video, I start reviewing, working on chapter 7 with you. I have to be honest, I figured those questions I never tried. So let's work with you together. Okay, so I believe 35 questions, and then good way to review chapter 7 together. Good way to review chapter 7 together. I put my note here, my content level practice in the OneNote. So let's get started. Before we go to do questions, I want to have a quick review with you. I don't have my textbook, so it's definitely 100% from my head. If I miss anything, just remind me. I think chapter 7 for me, the main word I learned is contribution margin, right? You know the meaning, definition, calculation, contribution margin for each unit, contribution margin for total, and then we also said the contribution margin percentage. The second thing we kind of talk, the break-even point is that, and then with the targeted operating income, right? We can do it with the unit, and then we can ask you, hey, what's the dollar amount? What else? Then we talk about if you change what if, right? The sensitivity analysis, two types. I would say, hey, if you increase your fixed cost, how will this affect your break-even point? You have to sell more, you have to more units, and then another type is the keyword is revenue minus variable cost gives you contribution margin minus all the fixed cost minus all the variable cost gives you operating income. So if they say, hey, if you variable cost changed from 10 to 20, what will happen to your operating income? Just to recalculate your operating income in the new situation. And then we talk about that you will definitely be tested is if you have more than one product. If you buy 2 textbooks, you get 1 My Accounting Lab. What will happen to the break-even point? I personally think it's the bundle products. And then next thing, we also talk the margin of safety, right? Margin of safety. So this is your break-even point. This is your current sales. Your margin of safety will be the difference. That's all I can recall. I don't know. Let's do some practice, and then if I miss anything, then we can just put in the note. The first one, CVS assumes that inventory level will not change. I think that's the correct one. I pointed here, So like this one, I ask you, it's right? But I may change some word and make it wrong. So I ask you, CVP analysis that assume that inventory level will not change. You know this is true. But in the exam, I may pick a question that said CVP analysis assume that inventory level will change. Then you know that's wrong. So talking about that, CVP analysis, chapter 7, basically that's the focus, right? So we said what is CVP analysis? CVP, one more time, is cost, volume, and then profit, right? Profit. So how will your cost and the volume affect your profit? So we separate our cost to variable and cost fixed, and then we say, hey, if you sell more or less, you know, we said why we call it a contribution margin. Talking about that, why we call it a contribution margin, because you sell one more unit, your operating income will increase by that amount. It contributes to cover your fixed cost and then to increase your operating income. So same thing here. From here, we can say, hey, you need to, if you don't know what is the assumption, you know, go back to your textbook and get the assumption. Just pause here, look at your textbook very quickly, just in case you will have multiple choice there. Okay. I think I'm right. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Next one. Contribution margin ratio is the unit contribution margin divided by the variable cost. Yes or no? No, right? We said contribution margin percentage. We said contribution margin. I'm not going to write it here because she can. Contribution margin percentage is contribution margin divided by your sales or divided by your revenue. Make sure you really know this one. So I need to write it here. So if contribution margin, we said, hey, if contribution margin percentage is 40%, what does this tell you? You need to know variable cost percentage will be 60%, because contribution margin plus variable cost gives you the sales, right? We said the revenue minus contribution variable cost gives you contribution margin. So if your revenue is $100, variable cost is 60 cents, and then sorry, it's $100. Sorry about that. It's also dollar. It's $100. Your variable cost is $6. Then your contribution margin will be $40. So contribution margin percentage will be 40%, and variable cost will be 60%. So this is wrong because it's contribution margin divided by your revenue or selling price. Next one, gross margin is another way for net income. That's wrong, right? What's gross margin? Gross margin is revenue minus cost of goods sold. So this is wrong. I think this is false. I'm not sure I will do everything with you, yes or no, but you know, just use this concept, especially. You will not say exactly question for sure, but if I give you something correctly here, even this one, it asks you gross margin is another way of net income. You know this wrong, but I may ask you, hey, contribution margin is another term of net income. You know that's wrong too. Okay, that's wrong too. CVP analysis assumed all of it, right? We said, hey, you know, just look at your textbook, pause the video here, look at which one. We said, hey, which one, right? Revenue will be linear, change in inventory is the only factor cost. I'm not sure about this one. Yeah, change in volume is inventory level will we said inventory level will not change, right? Inventory level will not change. Next one. Finally, some calculation. What's the contribution margin ratio? Okay, contribution margin ratio will be your contribution margin divided by your revenue or selling price. So let's look at this one. Each one selling price is $5, variable cost is 4. So your contribution margin will be 5 minus 4 gives you 1. Contribution margin percentage will be 1 divided by 5 gives you 20%, right? Gives you 20%. Okay, next one. Asking you about the contribution margin per unit. So you have selling price, you have variable cost, that's it. You just get $1. You don't need to worry about fixed cost. You don't need to worry about that. Just extra information. Don't be confused by those things. Next one, asking you about project operating income if they move it during, okay, let's say you sell your ticket at $10 each, variable cost of 6.5, and the fixed cost are this per month. Company relevant range is 35,000 movie. Okay, So now you are within the range, right? Asking about your operating income. That's right. That's just straightforward. So yeah, I need to repeat it. So how will you get your operating income? Just the way we did. So we said this is just the revenue minus variable cost gives you contribution margin minus fixed cost gives you operating income. So revenue is $10 each. You are selling 20,000 times $10 each. Variable cost is 20,000 times 6.5 each. So you got contribution margin will be 70,000, right? 3.5 times 20,000, I believe. Minus fixed cost 50,000. So your operating income will be 20,000. So that's straightforward. Okay. Let me check whether I'm correct yet. Oh yeah, I'm so smart, right? Next one, asking about contribution margin for the year. So if asking contribution margin, why they give you so much information? Let's see. Fixed cost, they break a fixed cost to this, variable cost to this. During the year, produced and sold 40,000. Selling price is 9.46 per unit. So we said the contribution margin is a revenue minus all the variable costs gives you contribution margin. No beginning of the year asking about contribution margin for the year. So your revenue is, you totally sold 40,000 units and each one is 9.64. I believe the key point I put it here is to let you know you need to include all the manufacturing costs. You need to include all the manufacturing costs. They already told you the total. So you don't need to use this one, sorry. So you subtract all the variable costs, 35,000 plus 5,600 plus 31,000. So you have to subtract all the variable costs. We do not care is from manufacturing or from a non-manufacturing. Okay, next one, I'm not going to do it. Next one, asking you about the contribution margin. Still asking about contribution margin. Okay, so it gives you all this, then you need to go back, right? Revenue, so it told you sales revenue is, selling price is this, but you don't know how many units, so you need to get the units first. 17,550 divided by 19.5. So totally you sold 900 units, right? So it will be your revenue. Your revenue is 900 units times 19.5 gives you 17,550, and then minus all the variable cost. Variable cost is 10,350. But question asking you about your how many units you need to sell to achieve the listed revenue. Okay, you need to sell 900 units. Yeah, that's all. You need to sell 900 units, right? You need to sell 900 units. And then your contribution margin will be for each one. Your contribution margin total is 10,350. And then we sold 900. So each one will be, oh, sorry about that. This is your variable cost. So your variable cost, each one is 11.5. So your variable cost, each one is 11.5. And your contribution margin will be 19.5 minus 11.5 gives you $8 each, right? Oh, but why I'm doing this? You just need to get the total contribution margin. Sorry about that. Okay, but I did more than enough. Okay, so your total contribution margin will be 17,550 minus 10,350. So you totally get 7,200. But you can double check, right? We said each one is $8 and you totally sold 900. So that gives you same 7,200. So double check. Okay, next one. We are, sorry, I'm talking too fast because we are just on the 10. We have 35 and I don't want to make too long video. I see next one. Margin, this one you have a selling price variable cost, you get your contribution margin, each one is $16 each, right? So you get your $16 contribution margin, each one is $16 each. And then you have your selling price is 27, variable cost is 11. You want to, okay, the manager accountant also reported that the sales goal were increased to 800 units during next quarter, okay? So you want to sell 800 units. First, compute the unit contribution margin per unit. Okay, this is 16, we got it. And then if fixed cost is 9,000, what's the forecast operating income if you sell this? Okay, so how do you get? We said then your total contribution margin will be 16 times 800 units. So your total contribution margin will be 16 times 800 gives you 12,800. And your fixed cost, we said, is fixed cost. How much is your fixed? 9,000, right? It's 9,000. So your forecasted operating income will be 3,800. 3,800 will be 3,000. So if it's in your exam, you should just get A directly. You don't need to even waste the time on the second part because this is the only one with 16. So save your time in the exam. Save your time, but I want you to know the knowledge information when you practice. Okay. Next one, break-even point is sales level where operating income is positive. You know that's wrong because break-even point is, now it's the break-even point part, right? Break-even point is when the operating income is zero. Next one, asking you about the sales need to achieve target operating income will be 30. Okay, so it's asking you about how many units you need to sell. Then how do you do that? So it's your fixed cost is 65,000 plus your targeted operating income is, you want to get income is 15,000 and divided by contribution margin, each one 25. I don't know about the number. So 80 divided by 25. 160 plus 15. Sorry. 65 plus 15 is 80, right? 80, and then we divided by 25. How many units? We need to sell 3,000. Hey, yeah, that's right. Okay, so this is right. Instead of letting you calculate units, I may just put true or false question. Okay. Next one, what's the break even in units? You should be able to get this break even. Break even is your fixed cost divided by contribution margin. Fixed cost per unit is this. Total units will be this. So your total fixed cost will be 400,000. And then your contribution margin, each one is 125, 375 minus 250. You do not need to worry about the target operating income when you do break even point, right? Next one, talking about the break even in dollar amount, So two ways to do that. First one is you calculate how many units, and then you cannot do that. How many units, and then you times selling price per unit. Or you calculate the contribution margin percentage. What is your contribution margin percentage? Let's do it together. So your contribution margin percentage, 550 minus 175 gives you 275 divided by 450. So your contribution margin percentage is 60. Let's see. Round any intermediary calculation and your final answer to the nearest whole number. Okay. So it will be 61%. 61%. And your 61%, your total fixed cost is 50 times 4,000 divided by whole number. Whole number is 0.6, right? 0.6. So 3333. I don't get it. Hey, I don't get it. I guess this one. I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. Let's do it one more time. My bad. Okay, let's do it one more time. Your total fixed cost is fixed or per unit is 50. You totally have 4,000. So that will give you 200,000, and the contribution margin percentage is sorry about that. Contribution margin percentage is 450 minus 175 divided by 450. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know, maybe 61%. Okay, let's see. It's 61%. So our break-even point in dollar amount will be 200,000 divided by 61%. Not sure. 200,000 divided 0.61, 61%. Sorry. What I'm doing? 200,000 divided 61%. Still not that close, right? Still that not 100%. I'm not sure, but hey, come on, right? If this is in your exam, you definitely chose C. You definitely do this one. I'm 100% my way is correct. I think it's just a rounding. So, but this is the closest one. That's it, right? That's it. If this is in your exam, just put your best guess. Okay, put your best guess there. I think I have to do 2 videos. Let's say this one. I mean, you need to sell to reach the target profit. Now you have a target profit. You just need to add that in your numerator, right? You need to add that in your numerator. Next question asking you, what are break-even sales in dollar? Okay, so selling price is this, variable cost is this. You can get contribution margin percentage, right? Total fixed cost is this. So you can use the formula directly, or you can get the units first and then time your selling price, get the revenue dollar amount. I stop here. Sorry, I talked too fast. Sorry about that. I will finish my practice in the next video. Okay? I don't want to make a video 1 hour and kill my students. If sales revenue per unit increased to 23 and they were sold, what's the operating income? Okay, so let's look at this one, operating income. Okay. So operating income is always your revenue minus variable cost gives you contribution margin minus fixed cost gives you operating income. Okay, so you have total fixed cost, you have a selling price, you have variable cost. Oh, so you got the contribution margin is $4 each, and then hold on. Now it's different, right? Your revenue, your selling price changed from 16 to 23. So now your contribution margin will be 7, and then you sell 12,000. So your total contribution margin will be $84,000, right? Will be $84,000. And then you subtract your total fixed cost, because your total fixed cost will not be changed. Your fixed cost is still fixed, so this gives you 61,000. What? Hold on. Why it's not right? Oh, sorry, I did it wrong. Hey, what I'm doing? Sorry about that. I did everything wrong. Sorry. I used the wrong number. Sorry about that. So now your contribution margin 23 minus. Sorry about that. 23 minus variable cost 12 gives you 11. Hey, it's my bad. Okay, so gives you 11. 11 times 12. See, I have to use calculator. 12 times 11. I think it's 133. Sorry about that. Okay, so total will be 132,000. Hey, 132,000, and then 132,000 minus our 23,000 minus our 23,000. We minus 23,000. That gives me 109,000. Sorry about that. See. So don't cry if you cannot make 100%. Your professor is not so smart, right? 109. Oh yeah. Okay, I think I stop here. And then I'll make another video and finish it. Okay, I see you there. Wait for me.